Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how are you? It's John. I'm on my news desk this morning, on my prop trading desk. Today is Tuesday, December 10th, 2024. A lot of exciting news to go over. I cover geopolitical news first, then socioeconomic news. And then I go over my trading plan at the end. It's not financial advice, just informational purposes only. Do me a favor, give my videos a like and a share. It helps out with the algos and everything. So, exciting news. Let's go over geopolitics first. Let's see. Reuters, suspect in KILLING of United Healthcare executive Brian Thompson is charged. Okay. BBC, hundreds of Israeli strikes on Syria since fall of Assad, reports say. So, man, the Middle East, World War III is kicking up. CBS News, Franklin fire passes Pepperdine but continues to burn Malibu. I know some people that graduated from Pepperdines out there in California. FT, Financial Times, Brazilian President Lula in intensive care after brain surgery. Okay, you got to pray for that situation. BBC, okay, so can't report on it. It says bodies showing TORTURE signs found at hospital, Syria, rebels say. And so BBC says here that Daniel Perry found not guilty in New York subway incident that transpired. So that's on geopolitics. The big story, of course, is the suspect for United Healthcare and then Syria, everything that's going on in Syria right now. Now let's look at the news stories on geopolitics first, like we did, and then let's look at socioeconomic. So the S&P futures are up fractionally, crude oil's pumping, the inflation trade is on right now. So crude oil, time for a coffee break. Crude oil's up again, pumping at 68.46. The VIX, 1405. Gold is up 23 points at 27.08 on a nice breakout. Can't wait. Is that an all-time high for gold? Let's see here. Got to look at this gold trade. We have big data coming out in news this week. The all-time high for gold for 52 weeks on the U.S. dollar is $2,826. So it's breaking out to the upside. Let's see if we get a breakout. It's never too high to buy, never too low to sell. Now, stocks that are active: Tesla, NVIDIA, MicroStrategy, Google, Meta, Facebook. Google's doing great. It's up 5%. I remember when the IPO transpired with Google. It was amazing. So stock index futures are muted as cautious mood prevails ahead of U.S. inflation data. All right. AI stocks and crypto news, Reddit news, more, coffee market is pricey right now. Cocoa is up. Goldman Street's top picks to invest for domestic steel. All right. China Cattle, CATL, forms joint venture with Stellantis to build electric vehicle factory in Spain. George Soros opines. Open Society Foundation says that they remain focused on human rights. U.S. Defense Secretary in Japan to support alliance of Osprey aircraft safety causes concern. So that's, the headlines on bar chart. So from there, let's see, the S&P future minis off at 62.50 off 3 points. The Nasdaq minis up 46 points. The Dow future minis off 188 points. The VIX at 14.67. The Dixie, now stay with me to the end. Give my videos a like and a share. You receive a bonus, which is my trading plan. The Dixie, the US dollar at 106.345. The 10-year at 110-315. Crude oil up at 68.43. Gold again up 27 points. Silver's looking good, close to $33 per ounce. Stock market leaders, look at this. Tesla. I own stock shares in all these companies, I believe. Let's see, Tesla, NVIDIA, MicroStrategy is looking great. Google, amazing. Meta Platforms is amazing. Man, Palantir stock is off fractionally. Apple Computer, and then there's Unicure NV is up 89%, and then C3AI is active also. So these are the news stories being reported on bar chart. Now let's look at what's going on here. I bought the dip yesterday on the blockchain ETFs. They were off like 7-8% at the close. So they're pumping this morning. So let's look again. So I go through the news first to see, okay, how do I build a trading plan? So that's my bonus for you at the end. The Nasdaq pops, Dow slips, and countdown to inflation data. So markets are muted on the eve of closely watched consumer inflation reports, seen as a key path to interest rates. So everyone's kind of waiting to see what, you can't fight the Fed. Fed struggled to shed the last of inflation points to rate cuts. FTC con turns up the dial on big tech as Trump looms. Let's see, Taiwan Semiconductor, sales jump 34%, TSM. NVIDIA's active, NVDA. Oracle stock tanks, slides as revenue misdents cloud hopes. Trump's SEC pick blamed the U.S. for FTX collapse. Google unveils mind-boggling quantum computer chip. I'm doing a lot of research right now on qubits versus binary language, zeros and ones versus atomic level computational power. Small business optimism soars to 3-year high after Trump win. Macy's is in deep trouble. It could be sitting on a gold mine. So Macy's is off about 1%. Amazon tests 15-minute delivery in India, ramping up competition. Amazon's amazing. I use their service all the time. They do a lot of work with AI and cloud services too. High yield credit set for best returns in eight years. Citigroup expects 25 to 30% rise on investment banking fees. Morgan Stanley Smith Barney to pay $15 million penalty to settle SEC charges. Google to invest in Intersect Power in over $800 million funding. Wow, AI race. Marathon Digital Shift Strategy, $1 billion convertible notes offering to expand Bitcoin holdings. Wow. Wall Street Wealth Chiefs see hottest money in private markets. So amazing stories here. Now, let's see. MicroStrategy, I own stock in it. There's news there. All right. Oracle falls on earnings while C3AI jumps. It's a tale of two AI-focused stocks. Shares of Oracle fell sharply after the tech giant reported second quarter results that fell just short of Wall Street's estimates. So these are the top, stories on Yahoo Finance. Now let's take a look at this. Top gainers. New Amsterdam is up 35%. ResMed is up big. Alaska Air Group. All right. C3AI is off about 10, 11%. So the most active stocks were NVIDIA, NEO, Palantir, Super Microcomputer, and Lucid Group. So coffee break time. Microsoft, Datadog, Technoglass, Powell Industries, Applied Materials. My goodness. Ferguson Enterprises, there's news there. So let's look at the most active stocks again. Toppy, undervalued growth stocks, General Motors, Energy Transfer Partners, Apache, Kingross Gold, and Laurelade Education. So these are the stocks here. Now let's look at my trading plan. Not financial advice, give free info. So market's pumping this morning. I'll continue the dollar cost average Bitcoin today. I do so every day. It's breaking out to the upside. I bought the dip yesterday in Bitcoin. So I bought the dip, down as low as at the pivot point at just about 96,500. And so we'll see. Bitcoin's looking good. So it's pumping this morning. Bitcoin is pumping here, all-time high for the day at 98,248. So my last pivot point trade, I'm up 2,000 points in Bitcoin. And I have limit GTC orders to sell Bitcoin just over 100,000. Not my entire position, but to take like a 4,000 point profit out of such if I can get it. So again, dollar cost average Bitcoin, I do so every day. SPY ETF, I had squared off most of my position in the S&P 500, half of it anyway, at about a 1.5% profit, and I'll continue the dollar cost average SPY ETF today. My average cost basis is 600.06, and it's trading this morning as high as 605. So as long as it's profitable, I'll continue to add to it. But it's, the S&P doesn't move very fast. Okay, BKCH, I bought the dip yesterday at the Global X blockchain ETF. I purchased it as low as 69.11 and then 70.07, and now it's trading this morning in pre-market at almost $71. So that was a huge sell-off yesterday in the crypto, ETFs. And then Block is pumping this morning. I bought the dip yesterday in Block. So the Amplify Transformational Data Sharing ETF. So I bought the dip yesterday as low as 50.42, and now it's trading at 50.95, up nice today. So again, I will dollar cost average Bitcoin today, every day, dollar cost average SPY today, and then I'll dollar cost average every Monday the blockchain ETFs, BKCH and Block, BLOK. And I bought the dip yesterday also. So everything now is inflation. So I did my dollar cost average weekly on the BKCH ETF and Block, BLOK, yesterday. And I also bought the dip because they were both off about 8 or 9% or so. So I was able to accumulate these great stock shares that inside of, for example, just a Global X fund, which is Coinbase. Coinbase is a leader. Their stock shares this morning were up, 3% in pre-market. Other stocks, Mara Holdings, go over these real quick. Talk about Mara Holdings is up this morning, about in pre-market, about 2.25%. Mara Holdings, Core Scientific, looking great. Stock, dipped yesterday, pumped this morning, up 3%. Core Scientific is looking good. Riot Platforms. So Riot Platforms up 2% this morning, looking great. I kind of go through these stock shares, to look inside this ETF of what I own. HUD 8 is off this morning, about 2%. So I'll buy the dip in that. IREN Limited is off about 2%. They're in Australasia. All right, CleanSpark's been active. The stock's this morning up 3% in pre-market. Now it's only up like 0.25%. So CleanSpark, they're in Henderson, Nevada. Yeah, these are all the mining rig companies. They comprise my synthetic Bitcoin mining rig. So I purchased these shares rather than purchasing a mining rig. So I've been looking at building a GPU rig. It costs like $5,000 for a rig, and you're not really sure if they're going to work or not necessarily. So I do purchase stock shares like CleanSpark. They're a mining tech company in Henderson, Nevada, off. Their stock's flat, but it was up this morning 3.25%, and now selling off nicely. CleanSpark, Canon, they're a big manufacturer of Bitcoin mining rigs, the ASIC miners. They're off 7% this morning. Canon, they're in, so Canon off, and Applied Digital. Applied Digital stock is off this morning about 2%. So these are the stock shares that are inside of my blockchain ETF. So I combined the blockchain ETFs with the dollar cost averaging of Bitcoin every day, and I created about 3 years ago a synthetic Bitcoin mining rig, and it produces on average per year about 100,000 trading points profit in Bitcoin. So 7-to-1 ratio. I've talked about this at length in my previous videos, but I dollar cost average Bitcoin every day. My average cost basis in my Momo swing account is 90,200, and it was as high as, and I sold some last week in my Momo swing account, as high as 103,000. So it was like 13,000 points. So with that, I combined the blockchain ETF, all right, BKCH, and then block, BLOK, 7-to-1 ratio, 7 units of Bitcoin to 1 unit of the blockchain ETFs. And that runs a synthetic Bitcoin mining rig. So it works great rather than running the infrastructure. So that's what I have for today. Again, dollar cost average Bitcoin, set my pivot point trades, SPY ETF, DCA today, and then blockchain ETF, bought the dip yesterday strong on BKCH and block, and then I'll dollar cost average every Monday on the blockchain ETFs. So that's what I have for today. That's my trade. And then gold, we got to look at the gold market. GLD, not investment advice, informational purposes only. Gold is up, the ETF, GLD, the Spider Gold Trust. How about SLV? Kind of look at, so we're looking at inflation. iShares Silver Trust, up today, nicely at $29. So gold, everyone's looking now like it's all the inflation, CPI. And let's look at the long bond, TMF, tough mother fluffer. The direction on 20-year Treasury, that volatile. So the TMF provides 300% exposure to market value weighted index of U.S. Treasury bonds with over 20-year maturities. So this thing is, we're looking at the CPI trade to see how this affects the long bond. So I'm not that expert in the bond market, but I do follow the yields on the 10-year especially, and then look at the bond yields. So that's what I have for today, everyone. And what a great day. Have an awesome day. Let the trend be your friend. Never average down, never too high to buy, never too low to sell. The trend is your friend. So have an awesome, great day. Thanks.